it's Miss Hurst and Mrs Goodwin here, and we are going to be making cheese scones. We have weighed out all of our ingredients ready, so we're just going to go through what you will need to make the scones. You are going to need 90 to 100 millilitres of milk, or if you made buttermilk and butter using double cream, then you can use the buttermilk from this. We then need 55 grams of chilled butter. You could purchase this butter from the shop, or you could be using the butter that you made from double cream. We need 120 grams of mature cheddar that has been grated. We need 225 grams of self-raising flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. So you can put the baking powder and salt straight into your self-raising flour. Preheat your oven at 180 degrees. You're going to need a mixing bowl, a sieve, a baking tray, a cutter, a tablespoon and a knife. And that is all of the equipment you will need to make your cheese scones.
Let's get started.
First things first, we're going to sieve the flour straight into the mixing bowl. This is to make a nice light mixture for our scones. We want the least handling possible. So we're going to add lots of air in as we sieve the flour into the mixing bowl. Then using your knife, cut your chilled butter into small chunks that can then be added straight in to the bowl. If you made your own butter using double cream, this will be nice and soft and easy to cut through. If you bought chilled butter, you may want to leave it out of the fridge just to get to room temperature before you cut it with your knife. We're going to start rubbing together with the tips of your fingers as though you're making breadcrumbs, the same way that you do for making pastry. Again, we don't want to handle this mixture too much, so we're very softly with our fingertips rubbing the butter and the flour together, and we're looking for that breadcrumb consistency. Once your flour and butter is well blended and looks like breadcrumbs, we are then ready to start adding in our other ingredients. So it should look something like this. Next, we're going to tip our grated cheese into the flour mixture so all the dry ingredients are together in the mixing bowl. Give them a little mix with your knife to get them blended. And now we're ready to go in with our milk or buttermilk. Tip in the 90 to 100 millilitres you have pre-measured out straight into the centre of your bowl, and using your knife start to mix the ingredients together. These should form one big ball of dough or mix that you will use to cut out and make your scones. If your mixture is too dry, you may need to add some extra liquid in either milk or water. Use the knife to mix your dry ingredients together with the liquid, and it should become difficult to mix with a knife, and that is the point when you start to bring your hands in and bring it together. The consistency needs to be like Play-Doh, in one big lump, leaving no dry ingredients at the edge of the bowl. So using your hands, you're squeezing the dough together, and as long as there's enough liquid has been added to the dry ingredients, this will form one big lump in the bowl. So once you're onto the work surface, we're going to add a little bit of flour, dusting of flour onto the worktop to stop it from sticking. And we're not going to use a rolling pin. We want to handle this as little as possible to keep the scones nice and light and fluffy. So use the palm of your hand to push the dough down flat We would like the dough to be about the size of your thumb up to the knuckle. So you can use your thumb as a guide as you're using the palm of your hands to flatten. And use your cutter to cut out your scones. We have used self-raising flour, so these will raise slightly. When you are placing your scones on the tray, don't place them too close together as you don't want them to join when they are baking. Once you have cut out your scones, keep reshaping the dough and cutting to use as much as possible. You don't want to have any waste. And for the last piece, should be about the size of one scone. We had enough ingredients to make 6 scones. Optional extra to make them nice and shiny, you can use a pastry brush to brush the tops with some added milk. Scones need to go in the oven at 180 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. After 15 to 20 minutes, your cheese scones should be nice and golden brown on the top, and they are ready to come out of the oven. If you cut a scone in half, you should see it should have a light, fluffy texture in the centre, and it should be cooked all the way through. You can see that these cheese scones have a nice natural golden colour, and they have risen with the self-raising flour. Some have got some textured splits in the side, giving them a rustic aesthetic.